What I'm going to talk about here is really ancient. It comes from a time before there was the sun dance, before there was Hamblechia. It's older than the ceremonies. It's really ancient stuff. And this knowledge does not include God. It does not include Satan. It does not include good versus evil. It's not about punishment and reward. There's no heaven. There's no hell. It's something completely different. The soul has 4 parts. When a person dies, one part goes back to the earth, because this earth piece helps the body to live on this earth, the physical body. But when the person's dead, see, they don't need that anymore, so it goes back to the earth. Now the soul can journey northward. It goes to a place where there's a lot of pine trees. And there it waits until something comes from a certain star constellation. And when it comes, it picks them up and they go with it. And they get inside this certain area that's designated by a certain star constellation. And there, that leaves off another piece of its soul. See, this second piece that it's leaving off, that helps it to live in this universe. So there's 2 pieces left. From inside this star constellation, it goes into a certain path. Today, scientists have found a black hole in that very same location that I'm talking about. Makes you go, what are these Lakota people up to here? We knew about this for millions of years. So, the soul goes through there, and then it meets somebody. And this somebody looks inside the soul and can see the 2 pieces. And this someone can tell if the 2 pieces energy levels are of the same level or not. If they are not, then the soul has to turn around, come back again to where it came from. So it comes through that opening again, that passageway, and it comes out at this same star constellation that I talked about earlier. And there, it gets that 3rd piece again, because it needs that to be in the universe. So from there, it looks to the earth, and it chooses a mother who's conceived. These souls know as soon as a mother has conceived. So they choose a mother that they're going to be born into. Now the mother, as soon as she conceives, the earth gives a piece of its soul to the unborn child. Do you see the 3 plus 1 here? The baby inside the mother has a piece of the Mother Earth soul inside of its body. So, now, in Lakota tradition, the mother talks to the baby. The baby is not born yet, but she talks to it, she sings to it, she tells the baby stories, she tells the baby about the family. They all come and talk to the baby, even though it's not born yet. They're already getting the baby used to their voices so that the baby will feel comfortable, that the baby knows it's going to be loved. And then that time comes for the baby to be born. Midwives come into the picture and they know certain songs. There's 4 beings in this star constellation that are very sacred. And this is the same location where the soul is waiting. The soul that's going to join the baby. This is the same location it's waiting with its 3 pieces. So these midwives, they pray to these 4 beings in this star constellation to help with the delivery, so that when there's difficulty, they send medicine down to help the baby get into the right position, for example, so that the cervix will dilate to the required width for the child to be born. So they do that, and then the child comes out, takes its first breath. Remember, it has one part of the soul already. It's from the Mother Earth. That's the earth piece that allows the body to live on this planet. As it's taking its first breath, that soul in that constellation comes down in an instant and goes inside the body with its 3 pieces. And then those 3 pieces join with that earth piece, and now the baby has 4 parts to its soul again. So we live. Hopefully we have parents who are going to teach us how to live healthy. If we don't, hopefully somehow we will learn it when we get older, that we can become healthy. That's one of the reasons why this show exists, to help those who did not have healthy parents. This show is to help you, to influence you to live in a healthy way. So this child grows up, it lives, it learns, and hopefully learns from its difficult experiences and learns to enjoy its blessings. It learns to communicate in a healthy way and becomes a contributing member to its Tiosh by helping people, asking for help, rejoicing with the people, supporting the people, giving the people a shoulder to cry on when they need it. Then it becoming an adult, and maybe it's going to have children too. Then it grows old, or maybe it doesn't grow old and it dies because of whatever reason. Then the whole thing starts again. This earth piece goes back to the earth. The soul goes back to the star constellation with 3 pieces. It leaves 1 piece there because that's the piece that allows the soul to come into this universe. Then it goes through that passageway again to see that person that's going to look at the 2 remaining pieces again to see if they match or not. And if it doesn't match, they come back again. They keep doing this until those 2 pieces match. That goes on and on and on. And when the 2 pieces do match, then they separate. 1 piece goes back to where it originally came from, and the other one is you. It's your individual identity. That's all I'm going to say. So that's how that works. Yeah, it goes over and over and over until the development is complete, then something else happens. Can you understand now why we do not have a word for goodbye? Because this keeps happening. We never say goodbye. Because there is no goodbye. So, the most important thing about all of this is this life. The life that you're in right now is the most important one. This is where you need to be learning from your difficulties and enjoying your blessings and communicating in a healthy way. You have to establish peace in yourself before you can do that. taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, so that you nurture those connections, and then you end up communicating from where those connections connect, your sacred center, where there's no skin color, no language, no race, everything is sacred. This is where reality begins. So that's the ancient star knowledge custom concerning that. There's other things that are involved too. Sometimes the soul doesn't have to leave right away. It can stay around. It can choose to stay around for a while. Some people say, if you cry around all the time, that traps the soul. No, it doesn't. The soul is not bound by the earth. It is not bound by gravity, because it doesn't have that earth piece. It doesn't have a physical body. So it can stay for a while. But in Lakota star knowledge, you learn that the soul is an energy. Can't have a voice because you need a voice box for that. It can't be shaped like the person it looked like, the person it came out of, because it's lived before. It came to the earth many times before. So it doesn't keep the human form. It's an energy. So usually the first 4 days after somebody passes on, you really should be careful in your communications. Usually they have other family members that are a little bit more distant related that they come and watch over the people who are mourning. And then they take care of them, because usually the first 4 days are the most potent, they're most emotional. And it's during that time period where people can really lose it. They can lose control of themselves, and when that happens, some kind of energy could go inside their bodies and confuse things, and it has to be taken out through ceremony, and that can be difficult sometimes. So they always have older relatives or elders who are wise to watch over these people who are mourning, so that they can ensure that they'll be okay, or that they won't do anything to themselves in a bad way. These are just some thoughts, and this is coming from Lakota star knowledge. Now, there's a bunch of incorrect knowledge out there too. There's a belief that says after somebody dies, you go to the happy hunting ground, and that's where all the relatives are, and there's a bunch of teepees there, lots of non-stop celebration. To me, that sounds like a Lakota version of heaven. So honest to goodness, this is what some people say, is that happy hunting ground is a place only for full-bloods. So I'm like, okay, so just because you're not full Lakota, you can't go there? You see what I mean? It's exclusive. It's like, it don't matter. You can be an asshole, you can kill a lot of people, you can rape a lot of women, you can rape a lot of children and do whatever you want, but as long as you're full-blood Lakota, that's where you're gonna go? That don't make sense to me. That's stupidity. And talking about a place where you can always be happy? How can you be happy when emotions belong to the physical body? It's not about happiness. It's about peace. Peace and happiness are not the same thing. Another thing they do is something called narigluha. And this is where somebody who's trusted in the Tioshpai will keep a lock of hair from the dead person. And they keep it in a special place, and they even make a little special lodge for it. And they keep it for 1 year. And this gives time for relatives to come there and talk to it as if the person is there, because hair has something called tru. This is the essence that's connected to our souls. The hair has a connection to the soul. So that's why in this ceremony, The trusted person keeps this for a year, and then any relative can come and talk to it as if it's the person, because the person can hear. Yeah, it's kind of like a spiritual monitor or something like that, yeah, where the soul can hear what the people are saying. And this helps the people too. Yeah, it helps the relatives get used to the idea that that person is gone now. It gives them time to mourn and get used to it. It's really a very loving, compassionate thing, in my opinion. And after that year is over, they dispose of that hair in a sacred way. And then the community meets together, and then they bring the mourning relatives into the circle. And the people in the community come up to them, they wash their face, they comb their hair, and they give them a cup of water to drink. A long time ago, it used to be cherry juice. They give them cherry juice to drink. And then the ceremony is over. The year-long ceremony is now over. And then Heoka people come in. These are people who do everything backwards. They're funny. So they're coming in to make the mourners laugh now. They're bringing them back to the normal world. So they start laughing. It's medicine going throughout their body to bring their body to peace. So now they're at peace with that death. Doesn't mean they're going to forget. It just means they've adapted now. So that's another thing that long time ago they used to do. Hardly anybody does that anymore. Instead, the churches, long time ago, they didn't like a lot of the ceremonies because they said that they were from the devil, because it contradicted the Bible. But there were some things that they did like this washing the face and combing the hair and giving them a cup of water. Today they call that wiping the tears, but that's not the full ceremony. The full ceremony began a year earlier and includes much, much more. But the Christians didn't like that idea of somebody keeping a piece of hair from that dead person for 1 year, and that people can go there and talk to that piece of hair as if that hair is actually that person. The priests were saying, that's evil. The priests don't understand that the hair has a special connection to the soul. That's why we had long hair. Long hair is not a fashion statement. There's a reason, and I just told you what it was. Another thing, too, is that close relatives and very close friends of the person who died, usually they're going to cut part of their hair off as a sign of mourning. And then they leave it with the body. That way, the connection to them goes with the deceased, so they're not alone. That's really, really compassionate belief system.
To read more about Lakota Star Knowledge spirituality, you can read my book called Wichocha Otechike. You can see the book cover on the right side of this screen. This book contains the information to what I talk about on my Lakota spirituality videos. To purchase this book, please click below where it says Show More. Clicking on that link will open up the description below, and there you will see a link called To Purchase My Books. As you will see, it's an eBay link. Click on that eBay link, and there you will see the information to get this book. Lila Pilamayelo. Thank you very much.